How are we all doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that I would love to introduce Ray Porter himself.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Marhaba. Good to see you all. I'm learning.
Ray.
I'm learning.
Ray.
Yes.
Tell us.
Yes.
I would love to know, what were the steps that took you into Darkseid? What steps did you take?
It's a very, very weird story, actually.
I'm ready.
So I knew Zach socially, and he found out that I narrate audiobooks, and he likes to hear scripts rather than just sitting and reading them. So he was having me come in and read the scripts for him and Chris Terrio, and just when they were running through and they do rewrites and that sort of thing. And honestly, one day we were walking out and he showed me a CGI image of one of the characters in the movie. We're in England. And he said, well, this is Darkseid. What do you think he would sound like? And just in that moment, I looked at the picture and went, I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust. And he was like, oh, cool. I was like, thanks.
That is amazing.
So then,
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And he literally was like, cool. I was like, yeah, cool. And just left and didn't think anything about it. And it was about 2 weeks later, some random person came up and went, oh, hey, by the way, you're playing Darkseid. I was like, what? And I actually contacted Zach. I was like, am I playing? He goes, yeah, you are. Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is faith, right?
Trippy story. And so I got flown from London to LA to shoot mocap stuff. So that Uxas battle, when he first lands off of the dropship and scoops up the, it was styrofoam peanuts, by the way. And then I had a broomstick where I went, and make the anti-laugh. And that was the mocap sequence. And Kieran Hines was there. And we're both standing there in our mocap suits, which are black Lycra bodysuits with little reflective balls all around, And I looked at him, I was like, we look like we work in the accounting department for ninjas, because both of us in black Lycra is not something anyone ever should see. And we did the mocap stuff, but even then, I guess Warner Brothers was having their doubts, and they kept saying, to Zach, like, who is playing Darkseid? What? So they had a recording session for the battle sequence. I was in London at the Warner Brothers audio studios, and the executives and everybody were back in LA listening in. I didn't know that they were listening in. So I got into the booth, and just to kind of warm up, I was like, making Darkseid noises, and doing that kind of stuff. And I heard someone over the phone go, oh, wow. And I was like, oh, someone's there. So we did all of that, and I guess at that point, Warner Brothers went, okay, that's all right then, Sometime later, this is all spread out over a really long period of time with big gulfs of time between. So sometime later, I was flown back to LA to do screen capture, where you wear a kind of a special set of pajamas.
Yeah.
And then headgear with a camera right in your face and a light right in your face, and then you act the scene with someone you can't see, because all they're focusing on is just this bit, so they can CGI the musculature of the mouth and do all that stuff. So we played all those scenes. I was standing up on a ladder, with Kieran Hines standing below me, and I'm, oh, Steppenwolf, that whole sequence. And then Zach left the production. Joss Whedon came in, did a ton of reshoots and did all that stuff. At that point, I was told I was not in the movie.
Wow. Sorry, how did you feel?
Well, that was not a great feeling.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
That was not a good day. That was this part of the roller coaster.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I was sad about it, and then the movie came out, and I didn't go see it, because it was a little like,
hey, the baseball team that you no longer play for is having a game. You want to come and watch?
No, I don't. So I didn't see it. And then this rumbling starts among the fans, where they felt like they wanted something more. They
Yes.
felt like it was incomplete.
They fought for it.
Yeah, they sure
fought
did.
for
And it was Kevin Smith who said he heard Darkseid was in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And suddenly all this noise started online, and there were people guessing, like, which actor played Darkseid. I remember one person was like, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. And somebody else was like, some other name. It's James Earl Jones. You know, and all that. And I'm sitting by, you know, because I can't say anything. I signed an NDA. I'm like at home going, sad face.
Wow.
Somebody high up leaked that I played it. This is back when the movement was really getting some groundswell, and somebody, and I still don't know who, leaked it. So one night I went to bed and I had like 350 audiobook followers because, you know, they love, you know, on Twitter. And the next day I woke up and there was 3,000 and an inbox filled with, we heard you play Darkseid. And I panicked.
Of course.
And I wrote to Warner Brothers and I wrote to DC and I said, I never said a word. They were like, no, it's okay, we know. So then it was this sort of weird open secret for months, and the fans were so amazingly kind. I was suddenly welcomed into this community. Nobody ever went, who? Who are you? Everybody was just like, sweet, you're Darkseid, cool. And I was welcomed into this incredibly bonkers group of people, really unfamiliar territory, because I was never a big comic book guy, and I was never really massive, fandom. I mean, I was always more a Star Wars person, 501st in the house. But I was never really, and suddenly all these people, and then there's drawings of Darkseid and all of this incredible art, and at the same time, this big push to raise money for suicide prevention. So it was a fundamentally kind group of people that were crazy and wonderful and, all of that, but I still didn't feel like I was free to say anything. And then there was that legendary watch party that Zack Snyder did. Somebody asked, are you going to release the Snyder Cut? And Zack, who does a surprise better than anybody on the planet, was like, well, I can show you this. And he holds this thing up and it's going to happen. And that's how I found out. I found out when everybody else did that it was coming out on HBO Max. And immediately after the broadcast, I texted him and said, congratulations, I'm so happy that finally your story is going to get told.
Yes.
By the way, can I finally come out of the closet as Darkseid? He said yes, and so I, said it. And then it was really a scramble to get it all finished. I mean, the movie was done. The Snyder Cut existed in spite of everybody saying it didn't. And it was just a simple matter of finishing some CGI, and the CGI artists did a year's worth of work in about 6 weeks. And then the only other thing was he called me one night and said, hey, we need 2 more lines. Will you just hold the iPhone up so we can see your face and I have a home studio where I record. So, at the end of the movie, the whole line of anti-life exists, Desaad, and we will stop at nothing to possess it. Ready the Armada. That whole thing, there's 5 years between we will stop at nothing to possess it and Ready the Armada. I recorded Ready the Armada at home all that time. And then, it finally came out, and I had that moment of panic after all this buildup. What if I'm bad? Seriously.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, my background is theater, where you walk out on stage and you know instantly if you're all right or not.
Yeah, pretty much.
And with a film, it's like you wait for an interminably long amount of time, the light does the work, and then judgment occurs. And especially after all of this buildup.
And all of the hype that people were waiting for to see Darkseid.
And I had this moment of panic the night before it came out of like, God, what if they hate me after all this time? I'm going to have to change my name, move to a rainforest, and just never speak again. Fortunately, I got away with it. They seemed to like it. And
Like it? They loved it. Are you kidding me?
And now I get the wonderful privilege of being able to actually go and meet fans personally and say thank you for this thing existing. You are the reason I get to come to the UAE, which I never would have dreamed in my life I would get to do. And Speedy Comics, who brought me here. Rashid, you're like a brother, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, so thank you.
That is amazing. That
Yeah.
is amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
That was a long answer, man. You asked me what time it is, I tell you how to make a watch. Sorry.
Well, now that we're into it,
Yeah.
basically, you mentioned that it's your first time here in the Middle East, right?
Yes.
Awesome. How is MEFCC compared to all the other Comic-Cons that you've been to?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's huge and it's really, really packed and really, really busy. The other Comic Cons I've been to, there's, you'll have a lull. It's like you'll sign a few autographs and then you hang out for a little while. Maybe nobody walks by, whatever. This has just been a constant crowd scene and really, really fascinating. I've met some amazing people here. So there's the whole thing of coming to a completely new part of the world, a totally wonderful, different culture, and you're at a Comic-Con. So there's cosplay and there's all that stuff. And I saw a guy in a Kandura with a Spider-Man thing, and it's like, this is the coolest thing in the world.
Only here.
Yeah,
Only
man,
here.
it's so cool. So I absolutely adore it. It's wonderful. And y'all got some really good snacks.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Have you had a shawarma?
Not yet. Not here.
Rashad, you have to get him a shawarma. Tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah?
I'm having the shawarma
You need to
tonight.
have a shawarma, a
My
chicken
food,
shawarma.
my food advisor tells me I'm having it tonight.
Oh, trust me, you're going to love it.
Oh.
You haven't been to the UAE if you haven't had a shawarma. It's that simple.
Oh my goodness.
Legendary. Or a karate. That's another one.
Okay, see, and there's words that I don't know either. That's the other fun thing. What's the thing I had from Bahrain? Khan Farouche,
Khan Farouche.
which I'd never had in my life, and it just knocked me sideways.
Yes.
And of course, one of the wonderful things about this culture is like, oh, you like that? Here's 10. And so I have this box at home that I've been eating from every morning, and it's just, I'm gonna miss it. Yes, and the Lebanon. Yeah, now I know about Lebanon.
You have to love the Lebanon.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's just marvelous.
It's amazing.
And the big Lebanon, yeah.
You had a big Lebanon as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what about Abu Dhabi? How have you liked the capital?
It's really cool. I'm a massive history guy, and so to see new and old together in this way,
Yeah.
and again, I've never been to this part of the world, so I'm drinking it all in. I mean, I'm just, in the car, I'm just looking, just constantly.
Everywhere you look, everything's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Everything's
just
beautiful.
so cool. Yeah,
Nice.
it's wonderful.
Amazing.
So my first time, definitely not my last, if I have anything to say
Yes.
about that. I love it.
Amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, you've done a lot of work with Shakespeare before.
Yes.
Now, here's a good question.
Okay.
Give me a Shakespeare character
Okay.
who you would love to have a dialogue with your Darkseid? And would you be able to come up with a dialogue?
I think I could.
Hit me.
Okay, so you take a character like Hamlet, who is all about indecision, never making up his mind, not being able to understand his feelings, not being able to make a choice. Darkseid, who is nothing but certainty. And I think it would be a really short scene. To be or not to be, that is the question. The answer is not to be.
Yes.
And that's it. And the stage just bursts into flames, curtains come down. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. And that's the end of the show. Yeah.
That'd be a very short movie. A very, very short movie.
Yeah.
Awesome. Out of all the DC characters,
Yes.
which one would you love to be? The life, the powers, everything, all of it, anyone.
Okay, this is going to sound really dumb, but out of all of the DC characters, which would I like to be?
Yeah.
Honestly, Darkseid.
The
Yeah, I
ultimate
mean, come
ruler.
on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I think I'll look like this today. I think I'll live in this universe today. I think I'll make this mine.
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
who wouldn't? Yeah.
Awesome. And who would you like to voice next? Any superhero.
That's a tough question. Well, I'll tell you, there is, you have the benefit of possibly the greatest voice actor in the world, Mr. Conroy, who's been here this weekend.
Yes.
That is Batman. I'm sorry, There ain't nobody else. Who would I like to voice? Boy, there's quite a few actually. I mean, every voice actor has this like kit bag full of different sounds that they have. Do you know? It's a tough question. I'd have to think about that. I mean, I love Darkseid quite a lot. I think maybe Superman would be sort of fun as a very different kind of thing. I'd quite like to have a go at Alfred, There's a lot of different things, but I'll never touch Batman. That's Mr. Conroy's.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Yeah, Kevin Conroy. Yeah,
The
absolutely.
best.
How amazing would it be to be able to do an animated movie with Kevin Conroy
Oh,
voicing Batman?
that would be.
Speaking to your Darkseid, that would be. I think we would all love to see that. I'm
I would
pretty
give
sure
a healthy amount of
we
money
would
for
all
that.
love to see that.
That would be great fun.
We should
That
start
would-
a trend. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
We
Yeah.
need to do it. We need to do it.
Kevin, we got a gig. Yeah.
Oh, this has been amazing. I think
Thank you.
we should take some questions from the crowd.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah?
please.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions?
Do you have any questions at all? I'll do anything except arithmetic. Maybe not. Yes.
Can we? Thank you so much.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
What inspired you to become a narrator or an actor? And when did you learn to do different voices and stuff?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
I was always a pretty annoying kid in school. I would mimic people and make different sounds and that sort of thing, because it's fun. You know, that sort of parrot quality of wow, I can do that, and it makes my friends laugh. Let me do some more of that, you know. I was never going to be an actor because it seemed like a terribly irresponsible way to make a living. Well, it just is. On paper, it's silly. You want to make your parents have a heart attack, say, I'd like to be an actor, because it's very, it's hard. I'm fortunate in that my mother was an actor, and I come from generations in show business. So they told me immediately how tough it is from the get-go, so that I went eyes open into it. But they still supported what I did. Yeah. And I started, just doing everything. I went to school. I have a degree in acting, but I went to school for it. And then it was about finding work. And there was a lot of years of, not having enough food and not having enough sleep and all of that other stuff. But it was because I really felt I needed to do this. Got a job with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland, Oregon, and started, it was heaven. It was a beautiful place in the mountains. It was gorgeous, and I'm doing Shakespeare all the time. It was marvelous, with some actors that I learned a great deal from. I learned more from some of those actors in 6 months than I had even learned in 4 years at school. And it just kept stoking the fire. I kept, it was that need to be able to do it. And I started doing some voice work at that time. Voice actors are actors. It depends on, there's either, an audience in front of you, a camera in front of you, or a mic in front of you. It doesn't matter, it's the same craft. And I started getting some voice work here and there. But I wouldn't call myself necessarily a voice actor. When you talk about really accomplished voice actors, you have, Michael Ironside, who voiced Darkseid in the cartoons and all of that. But he's also legitimately, on camera and theater and all of that. Kevin Conroy, theater actor, that kind of thing. You spend a life doing this. You do the work that is offered to you. You try to build on that. You try to build momentum to it. And I'm still inspired every day, and I still question this every day. And I think that's also important. It's not a terrible idea, no matter how long you've been doing something, to be like, am I on the right page? Am I doing right? So far, yes, and it's been a lot more fun recently. It wasn't that bad before. It was great fun before. But now I get to come and meet wonderful people, and that's a great thing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a good question.
Do we have anybody else that wants to ask any more questions? Go ahead.
So I was just wondering, would you prefer to do more voice narrating or acting?
Who's paying? No, I'm kidding. That sounds terrible. That's a terribly cynical thing to do. Honestly, I don't care necessarily what the genre is, or the medium is. If it's voice acting, if it's on camera, if it's theater, as long as the writing, the words I get to say are good and are challenging, and the work is challenging. I was so fortunate to have Zack Snyder as a director and to get to say the words that he and Chris Terrio had built. I've been so fortunate to get to speak Shakespeare. I've been really fortunate that I've gotten to narrate some terrific audiobooks, that I loved. And it all comes down to good writing is good writing. That's it. And it's a privilege to perform that stuff. Bad writing is not as much fun.
I love that. I love
Thank
that.
you.
That's good. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
So, in your acting process for Zack Snyder's Justice League, did Zack Snyder give you any creative freedom to approach Darkseid the way you see fit? And how did this apply to the movie?
Well, Zach is very, very clear in what his vision is with the story, but he's not a tyrant by any means. Being on a set with Zack Snyder is great because he builds a really solid, safe sandbox for you to play in, and then he allows you to play. And if you stay in the sandbox and keep the sand in the box, it's all good, you know. But by the time you're done working with Zach, you both know what works and what doesn't work. I will tell you that I've been on a lot of movie sets that are vast with the crews, you know, forever. There's never anybody more excited, happier, or more engaged than Zack Snyder is on a Zack Snyder set. And that's what makes it fun. You want to be at your absolute best. You want to bring your A game. There's never any pressure. There's never any negativity. It's just joy, you know. And I wish every film was like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Do we have any more questions in the crowd?
Yes.
Yep. Right there, please.
Hi.
Hello.
So I have a question. Will we ever see a Darksider spin-off?
Ooh, I'd love that. I would love that. I mean, you know, there's the question of like, will the Snyderverse continue or will there be a spin-off and that kind of thing? I'm open to all of that. I don't know anything. You know, they tend to tell the actors last. You know, don't forget, I heard from some random person 2 weeks later that I got the part. So I'm usually the last one to know, but I would love to explore that. That would be great fun, truly.
Yeah, I would love to see that too.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's hope.
Great. One more question right here in front.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's say you're in a universe and this universe does not exist and there's only the Marvel universe.
Yes.
And then they get you to do the voice and you get a choice between two major villains.
Oh.
Either Mr. Sinister or the evil Mephisto. So which one do you feel that you can do real well between those two?
I like Mephisto, I'd have to say. I'm going to go with Mephisto on that one.
Nice.
Certainly not going to talk about Thanos because I don't need a special glove to fight.
Ooh.
I won't actually drop the mic. The engineer would kill me.
Ooh. Okay. No comment. Awesome. Does anybody else have any more questions that they want to get through? Rashid?
Well, if you think of any more, come see me at the Speedy Comics booth here at the Comic-Con, or come see me at Speedy Comics City Walk tomorrow.
Yes. Hi,
3
Ray.
to 8. Hello, Rashid.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, it is. Listen, I have a question for you.
What's that?
Let's say, okay, you can answer it if you want. What are your next movies? Are you doing anything with Zach soon, or anything else?
I'm not doing any Justice League related projects coming
Okay.
soon. I just did do a TV show in the DC universe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but it's on the CW.
Okay.
The show is A Girl's Name.
Okay.
So I'll leave you to figure that out. As far as film projects that are coming up, I don't really know.
Sorry, what's the time?
There was a lot of static in this mic. Yeah, I'm going to be working. Yes, I have a film project coming up.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I'm not really at liberty to talk about it too
Okay.
much. So
Thank you
yeah.
so much. Sorry, I don't want to put you in the spot. It's
No,
just
no,
that-
it's fine. It's nice to be able to be put on a spot, period. So it's a good thing. But we'll have more things to talk about next MEFCC.
Absolutely.
We'll say it
That's
like that.
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, too.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
you, brother.
You
Good
are
interviewer.
incredible.
You're
Thank
a good
you so
interviewer,
much.
man. Thank you, my friend.
Have a great night, everyone. Please enjoy the rest of the show, and we'll see you all next year.